in the studio, we have live my very first interview with a band, with anyone really, ladies and gentlemen. It's Interpretive. Hello, guys.
Gunner, oh my gosh.
Hey, come on. How's it going? It's good to have you guys in here. And Sandy, we've been trying to plan this for a long time. We're going to do a Rocky Mountain Oysters interview, but it's just how it went. Yeah? So, of course, you guys want to introduce yourself?
I'll start. Hi, I'm Connor. I play lead guitar.
Yeah, I'm Marcus. I lead sing and I play guitar.
My name is Julio Jones, and my name is Isaac, and I play the bass.
That's great. We got to have you guys in here. So sad we couldn't get Hayden.
Yes.
I was a little upset about that. Where's he at? So he's giving a shout out.
He had work or something like that. Yeah.
Shout out Hayden Coots.
Yeah, we love you, Hayden.
Drummeister.
Love you.
Choose for over this.
It's just a capitalist ploy, man.
Well, wish he was here. Big shout out to you guys. Have you guys ever been on the radio before?
I don't think so. Not that I know of.
No.
I have a couple of times.
You had. Connor's my boyfriend, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
You're all listening to the show. So, Interpretive Tyranny. Last show I saw you guys doing was January 7th at Moe's. And that was really fun, actually. I enjoyed that one a lot. I came with some of my friends, and I finally got to see you guys perform some of your originals live. Some songs that weren't Revolution.
Yeah.
Right?
We actually didn't play it that one.
Yeah. Well, I kind of said you should bring it back.
I mean, we'll take constructive criticism for sure.
So Revolution was, well, I feel like it's not really my place to say. Do you want to give a whole spiel about that?
Yeah, sure, I could take that for sure. So, interesting kind of story with Revolution, actually. So, our first iteration of the band here was me and Connor. We were two of the original members here. But we also had Laura Stedman, who's in Robot Tennis Club, and she makes her own stuff as well. Fantastic artist, super cool. And then we had AJ Guy, who I believe is still in Crimson Band, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he just
He's vocals.
And also,
And then,
House of Horrors.
yeah, House of Horrors, there you go. Yeah. So, yeah, both of them super talented musicians. We love to work with them. Eventually, we ended up going towards a three-piece here. So we had me, Connor, and Laura for a little bit. And while I was in Warren Tech, I was doing audio production stuff. There was a project I had to do where I just had to write a song, and we were hitting kind of a writer's block from what it sounded like at the point. So I wrote a song. Honestly, I wasn't really that happy with it, neither were my bandmates, and that's okay. But we were on the right path. Okay, yeah. Yeah. We just had to get something out, you know. So we're like, all right, cool, we did that. So it's student produced, student mixed, everything like that. Came out 2020 because we got bored.
An anomaly.
I remember listening to this song on YouTube. Like when it first came out and when COVID, quarantine first started, and I left a little comment that I thought was hilarious because I proposed to my girlfriend to this song at Over Rage Against the Machine. I don't know if you guys ever saw that, but I guess it wasn't really like the sound that you were looking for.
Absolutely not.
Everyone was comparing it to Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
But you definitely like made a pretty drastic like switch in genre from that, so now it's more like a grunge metal kind of thing.
I mean, that was the other interesting thing about it, where it's like when we were playing it, when we were writing it, we weren't even writing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of just, I don't want to call it a fluke or anything like that, but it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't in character. How about that?
I loved it.
I know. I was gonna say I understand.
It had so much character to it,
and I guess we could kind of bring it back to like the whole like reason we named our band What It Did kind of thing. It was actually kind of funny from what I remember though, because I remember we had a bunch of band names proposed because we were supposed to get this gig really soon, so we had to pick a name, right? And so we had thought of all these names, and Laura had thought of Interpretive Tyranny, and immediately after she said it, she's like, "I hate it. Let's not do it." Like, no,
It's an old English term. It's a literary.
What does it mean exactly?
It's the idea of separating the art from the artist. It's like an interpretive tyranny is almost like an idea you put on something, so you can't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah.
I still don't understand that.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's
but
okay.
I
We'll
love
talk about
it.
it.
I think it's so cool. It just makes me, you guys were so much littler. I was like only 3 years ago, but to me,
It was a
you're
while
so-
ago.
Yeah, it makes me think like you guys just really wanted to start like a cool metal band. And you're like, oh yeah, Interpretive Tyranny. That sounds punk rock. Like we don't know what it means, but okay. But that's
No,
what
that's
makes
on the ball, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the funny thing is it was kind of the opposite of that. Is we knew what it was called. We didn't know what we were going for though.
Well, then I'm curious, like, what did Laura, if Laura hated the Interpretive Tyranny, what did she want to like, go for?
I don't know if she had any other backup ideas. I know for a fact she didn't like that name. That's all I remember specifically is that she was definitely against it at first, and I understand that. I respect that. My only current gripe with it is that like it's really long. So putting it on posters is really hard. Getting people to spell it and or say it right is really hard. So
We've had people open for us where they're like, get ready for it, and it's just like the most abominable, like,
They'll just
not correct
push
version.
it.
They definitely mess it up when they say it.
I mean, our first show with Isaac here, they said the T slur instead of our name, and that was not fun. So yeah,
They're like, no, that's not
yeah,
it.
we're like, nope, that's definitely not it.
Thank
We've
you,
gotten that
though.
every once in a while, and I'm definitely that's even why I was considering like trying to change it at some point because it's like I don't want that to be our name. You know, I don't want that to have any confusion, any way, shape, or
I
form.
just
You
can't
know,
imagine how you could confuse those two
because
words.
people don't read it. They just read it quick.
I mean, like the first time I ever read Interpretive Tyranny, I had to double look. You know, sometimes it is hard to do, but that's if you just don't look. You know,
Right. I mean, if you sit down and read it, I understand.
Yeah.
But again, user friendliness and reader friendliness,
Yeah,
whatever.
so
right?
basically this all means that we're changing our name to Whitney Houston. We have a problem.
But I mean, have you guys like seriously considered changing the name, or is it just like an annoying kind of thing?
It's been on my mind, but I don't know if it's like we're more established than we were a year ago when we were considering it. So it's like,
Yeah, if anything, like a short name or of some kind.
well, so we actually had our friends at Undisassembled. Shout out to those guys, super cool punk band or whatever. But they their drummer Eddie, who's a drummer in tons of different bands. Eddie's super awesome too.
I
But,
love you, Eddie. I know
Yeah.
you're listening to this.
Yeah, he wants to
love
do an
Eddie.
interview on here as well. So
Yeah,
shout
I
out.
love you, Eddie.
definitely a good option because he's fantastic. But I think he was the first one that started calling us Terp, and so everybody just started calling us Terp now, and that's a lot easier. So so that might be fun if we like decide to shorten it or something like that, and have it be like I can't think of what bands did that, like the Who, maybe something like that, you know, or yeah, exactly.
You're saying that Who had like a
They had a
longer
really
name?
they had a really stupid long name, and everybody was like, who? The Who?
The
Who?
Yeah.
Nice.
Little
Oh,
rock
that's
history
funny.
for you, but yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna change our band name to You Them.
Yeah, so that was the whole thing about the name, where we were just kind of, I'm on the fence about it, me personally. I don't know how these guys feel about it, but like, it's a cool name. Just I don't want the misconception.
I'm open to it.
You know,
But at this point, you're thinking like, well, you have such a better following than you did when
Right.
the name like became the name. That like it's not worth it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like, I don't know. I was overthinking it then when we were talking about it, and so we never put action to it. So we established ourselves enough where, I mean, as artists, we can do whatever we want. It's just traction-wise for our brand, maybe not. It's probably not the best idea, you know. But I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm back and forth on it just about every day.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, you guys have like such a great following now, and you're becoming so much more like well known, and so I think that's great. And a lot of people are just gonna use it. That's really awesome.
For sure.
Yeah. And then Isaac, you just like recently, very recently joined the band.
Yeah.
And played your first show, which was the last one you closed, right?
That was
officially, yeah.
That was
Okay.
like my favorite show that I ever played. Yeah,
Oh,
seriously,
okay.
that was so
really
much
fun,
fun.
actually. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There weren't like enough people moshing, so I was just like walking around in a circle like aiming.
Like that picture, yeah.
I don't know what that picture was. But no, that was really fun. And Corey and I like swinging each other in circles.
I mean, we could start talking. I mean, we could talk about the house party show that we went to.
Yeah, that was-
Yeah,
that was
talk
really
about that a little bit, because I didn't get to be there.
I've already talked plenty, so if you guys want to go ahead.
It was just strange, like, setup-wise, it was a house show, we were in a basement, you know, and there was like, for some reason there was a bunch of like balloons on the ground when we already
It was
got
a
there.
birthday party. I think that's what it was.
And it was just like, I
birthday
know
party.
everyone had to kind of be careful moving around because we wanted to fucking
Just roll their ankle, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just seemed, yeah, it was definitely a birthday party. I think it was like 2 or 3 people's birthdays or something like that. So it was a whole event they were trying to do. It was really interesting though because we went about and like I think a rapper opened for us. I don't remember how to pronounce his name because I don't think he announced
Roman
himself.
numerals and then Luna.
Yeah.
I'm
so
so sorry I don't remember.
if you really, don't want to, this band, just like give yourself a name that nobody can say.
That's kind of that was my worry with this band is that we didn't want to make it too long so people were just like, nah,
At least it's not Roman numerals,
Yeah.
I mean, he was a cool guy. I think his name was Kevin, right? Yeah, that sounds right. He was a cool guy.
Super cool guy.
Hung out with him for a little bit. We opened for Ambiguous, and they're playing a lot in the Fort Collins scene a lot more. So it's good to see them getting up
Yeah,
there.
shout out Ambiguous because
Yeah, they had us on the bill, so we went
Yeah.
all the way up to Loveland. Shout out you guys. So
But yeah, I'm sure that was totally like a clash of genres. You had like
Oh,
an
definitely.
indie band, you had a rapper, and I heard some terrible things about the sounds and just the lighting and stuff at that show.
it was a minimal setup. I can't talk too bad because it wasn't my place. It's not my thing.
It was a classic DIY show. I mean, you can never go wrong with a good old DIY show.
Yeah, it was totally
That doesn't need to sound good.
It was pretty funny though because they were talking about their lighting setup a lot, but for some reason we couldn't get a hold of anybody to turn on the lights. So we had a hanging light bulb in the middle of the back room. But the problem was it was one of those fancy LEDs that changes colors. But the thing is that it would fade out to black every couple of seconds. So we'd be in the middle of our song and we're like, oh man, where's my front light? Where am I at?
Your flashlights
Oh
and
my
stuff
gosh.
to get around.
Yeah, so we were basically, I told everybody, is like, hey, as long as we keep the energy high, it doesn't really matter if we play the right stuff.
I'm
So
sure everybody had fun.
it was really fun. We had a great time.
That's exactly what we did. Was keep the energy up.
That was a good that was a good test set because we did the same set that we did at Moe's. I guess without YYZ, but we did the same set essentially.
I think no, we did do YYZ at the house party.
Did we?
Yeah, for a little bit we did do it.
I guess maybe we didn't do it as long as we did it.
Yeah,
at
we
Moe's,
didn't
but-
plan it out.
Yeah.
That time it wasn't planned.
Right, Moe's we did plan. So it's like, okay, yeah, we're pretty tight on this timeline right now. We're only at like 40 minutes. We need to kill this a little bit harder, So
Yeah, I think you guys should keep them on the future.
it's a good filler.
Hilarious. These guys.
Isaac brings
Oh my God.
amazing stage presence.
So it's just, they finish their song and it's silent on stage and everyone's like, what are you doing next? And all of a sudden, Aiden's just on the little hi-hats. And then everybody just went into it. Aiden was wearing a funny little shirt. And I can't say what it was here. You know what, if you want to know,
He also had the fish shirt.
he had a fish shirt.
He also had the fish
A
shirt.
million dead carps or
It
something.
was something like that.
If you
Yeah.
want to see the shirt that he was wearing, you can go onto Interpretive Tyranny on Instagram. But these guys just went right into YYZ by Rush, and Isaac he did a little rap performance, which I thought was so funny.
Did a little funny
Sure,
song
of course.
over a prog song.
Yeah. No, it was so good. It was hilarious. But yeah, I think you guys should do more of that, and I
Original
love.
competitions.
I feel like that's one thing that I love about this band is because we're all just goofy and like we know how to get people moving. We know how to get
Get it grooving.
you know, and that's something that I love, and we're gonna continue to do that and just make it better each show.
I mean, when we were looking to get a new bassist in here, I mean, shout out to Alex Dellier. He was great. We did really great work. In fact, he's going to be on our next song that's coming out in June because that was part of our agreement when we left. We want to make sure that he's getting credit where credit's due. So super cool guy.
Shout
Just
out.
artistic differences, and that's okay. So when we were in the market for new stuff, it seemed like when we got Isaac, I wasn't even sure if he could do it because it was like, oh man, he's already in plenty of projects by himself. I don't want to overwork him, or like, I feel bad asking if he's got too much going on. But he said yes immediately, and the second we got him in, it's like, okay, this is a weapon. Like this is somebody we can use as a weapon in shows. Somebody that's going to add extra pieces to it. So that's good.
And it brings so much, energy.
There's a new flavor.
Yeah, there's so many different flavors like on stage. Especially with you guys, and you all have very different interests, different genres of music, which I think is very interesting.
We actually based all of our stage presence off the Beastie Boys. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
she's a bad boy, you know, and
Yeah.
I'm the main guy, and then he's the
I'm sure.
And Hayden's
And he's taking his shirt off behind the corset.
Hey, he had a whole costume change. I gotta give him props.
He did.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh my god, I wish I could say what his shirt's
I know.
Yeah.
But if you want
It's
to know
on, I think it's on the
all
Instagram. I think it's
All I
on
gotta
it's
the
on
say is-
Interpretive Tyranny Instagram. Go look at it because it's hilarious.
Who made it all?
I
don't
just
know.
missing some
The people need to know now.
That was actually a Christmas present for me.
Was it actually? Oh my god.
Yeah, I got him like a week or two before we did that, so I was like,
Shout out to you, man. That was hilarious.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we talked, we just, talked a little bit about Rocky Mountain Oysters, but I really want to bring that up because I think you're in like, okay, so it's Interpretive Tyranny now, as well as Rocky Mountain Oysters, and a solo project,
Yeah.
I think, called Polish, which I
Polish.
just listened to this morning, and I loved it. I thought it was really cool.
Polish is that's grindcore.
Grindcore.
Like power violence, grindcore,
Yeah.
hardcore scene, hardcore punk.
But I mean,
Oh,
all of these different projects you're in, like, the genres are just so incredibly
Yeah.
different. Do you, like, find it difficult to balance all of it, or is it, like...
I love it so much because like being with these guys, they really know their theory, they're smart, it's awesome. I'm learning new things, which is super cool. RMO, I just get to go up and just have a good time with my friend. I've known the RMO. Shout out RMO, love you guys. Known them since I was 7 years old.
Wow.
Just going up on stage and just playing the stuff that we love.
So you've been performing since you were 7 years old?
Well, no, but I've known them since I was 7.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
now I'm curious, how did you guys meet?
Oh my gosh, it goes way back. My dad, flashback to 7-year-old Isaac, looking outside his window, seeing Mason and Blake playing football when they're like, Blake was probably 10 years old or something. Mason was like 11, 12.
Is Blake's 20, right? Or was he-
I think so, yeah, 20.
I was gonna say, I know we were pretty close in age.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
So
And
Mason is your drummer? just
Yup.
to be clear.
Yeah.
Like, is your vocalist?
Yes.
Okay.
And my dad was just like, go out and play football with those kids. And that's exactly what I did. And ever since, they've taken me under their wing. And they have been my best friends for the past 10, 11 years now.
I actually haven't heard that story, so that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's been super awesome.
And it's so good to have, like, such a strong support group like
Yeah,
that. You've known
it
for so
is.
long, too.
It is.
That's really good.
All
But,
reliable.
then how did you, come to start playing with Interpretive Tyranny?
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved Interpretive Tyranny.
I mean, when did we played like our first, like, it was in the first 3 shows that we had played as a band.
Yeah.
Most shows.
Yeah, that was with Alex. So we had played a couple. In fact, I think the first one was a Moe's show. That was like 2021, I think was probably it. That sounds about right.
That was May 14th, 2021.
Oh, she knows her
And I have
stuff. I don't know that.
I
even have a
actually
poster of
saved
it.
a video that I had. Yeah, it was May 14th, 2021.
Nice.
I was there with Andrew,
Mm.
and I have a video of you guys playing Sugar by System of a
I
Down.
forgot we did that. Yeah, that's a
I
good
have
song.
it pulled up right here if you guys want to hear it. The quality is terrible.
I would
but
love to.
If you
That's
listen
awesome.
closely in the background, you can hear Andrew and I like singing along.
Nice.
Like, yeah, which is really funny. There you go. This way, hold on. Yeah. And you can hear us in the background, can't you? Right here, right here. That was such a
Oh my
fun
gosh.
show. I love that so much.
I
So-
forgot we played that.
I would love to cover that
We did
again.
People for a while too.
Oh yeah,
was
People was super solid
amazing.
too.
I love that song.
My mom called it the circus song.
When your stars on the
That's such a good one. I think you guys should definitely bring back some more, like, System of a Down.
That might
and
be fun.
Tool as well. You guys used to play Tool songs at Fame.
Yeah, we played sober for a little bit. I'm down to do some harder tool stuff, but that's up to everybody if they want to physically do that.
It's like a project song.
Yeah.
Shout out Lacerated,
And I actually,
Colorado death metal. They're
I
sick.
remember when you guys used to play Schism or Schism? Schism?
I think it's Schism.
Yeah, I think so too. I remember when you guys played that at the Walnut, which was like.
Did we play Schism at the one? Did we
Or
play
no,
that?
sorry, it was Sober at the
Yeah.
Walnut. That's the one.
That sounds about okay. Yeah, because
That
Kat has
was
that weird video of music.
Yes.
Oh, if you go like this.
Or his
Oh, yeah, church you should.
That was a fun show too. Shout out to I think we played with Legs the band.
Legs
I love
the
those
Band.
songs.
Oh,
Those guys are
funny.
fantastic.
Funny thing about Legs the band. I saw them the other night at the Flat Show,
Oh yeah.
and I was talking about Turpin. They're like, "Oh, we played with them before."
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah.
Shout out Legs the band. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, we resonated because their lead singer's name is Marcus too. So I was
Oh.
like, oh dude, cool.
He's super cool.
Yeah.
Dude.
Those guys
I
were
totally
great.
forgot about Legs the Band. But that was a really great show. And I think, yeah, do you guys have shows being set up for the new year? Because you've done one so far.
I'll take that for sure.
Yeah,
So.
but yeah.
So after this first one that we played on the 9th here, we're planning on getting a show together. In fact, this goes for every band out there that's looking and watching us live. We're hoping to get a show together at Globe Hall. We're in contact with them right now. We need 3 bands to fill it, so we need at least two more people to get it started. But
Wanted our mo to be on that bill.
yeah, I was gonna say we've been hitting people up. The people we wanted initially have been out of town, so we're trying to make sure that we get that filled with all our favorite people. So that's good.
So yeah, I'm glad that you guys are expanding it past Moe's. Moe's is a really, really fun venue.
They pay really well. That's
And
all.
they-
So it's
I
they like
love
us there.
Shout out
Moe's.
Moe's.
It was so much fun. Actually, Isaac, I don't know if you remember this. I might have brought it up since we started becoming friends, but last year, it was March 25th, 2021, or 22, sorry. I was in a band called Anti-Formula, and I played with you guys in RMO at Moe's.
I do.
I don't know if you remember that.
Of
That
course,
was,
yeah.
That was such a fun show.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that a little bit.
Another thing, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Shout out Anti-Formula.
Yeah, big
Because
shout out Anti-Formula. Those guys are
seriously.
great. They're, bringing in some new members.
They got some merch coming.
Oh yeah,
Yes, I am gonna get some of
big
that.
shout out to them.
Yeah,
So
cool.
go look at Anti-Formula band on Instagram. Go check out their shows. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah.
And I played with them for a while. And it wasn't my thing anymore.
That's okay. That's kind of how art works. Is as long as you find what you dig, right? What your thing is.
Yeah, and I wish more people would do this going into bands, especially with these kids. You're not going to be in the same band. You're not going to get famous for your first.
I've gotten pretty lucky. So.
Well, you played in a couple bands before too.
Well, we had
That's the
things
thing,
that were
we're
projects,
all-
It's like we were in projects with people I don't think you were in the school before, but we had a kid named Gage that we were friends with that we tried to start a project with him.
Yeah.
We were kind of a package deal for a couple different groups that we tried.
We just always write together.
Yeah. Because we had started writing and we worked together pretty well. We had a good workflow to it. And we still do. So we're getting that kind of going, and we were basically just trying to figure out, okay, which ones are going to stick, which ones are going to stay. And we figured out, okay, maybe starting it our own way might be a smarter way to go about it. So we decided that, and here we are now, right?
Yeah, that's really good. And I'm sure, it was easy to get groups together because you were all in School of Rock. Well, most
It helps to
of
know
us
people, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to get those connections. And then just seeing you guys take this project so far and to know it grow so much is awesome.
It's just important to take yourself serious, but not that serious.
Right.
It's like, I mean, we have plenty of platforms too. Like we're on YouTube, TikTok. I'm trying to think of any other weird ones we're on. SoundCloud, I think.
SoundCloud.
Yeah, we're on a couple random places that. In fact, I've been talking. We might release some of our demos that are really goofy and weird.
Yeah.
I'll put those out
A lot
there.
of funny outtakes and stuff.
That was the perfect way to explain that. Make it serious but not too serious.
I mean, you have to have yourself in it. It's like if you're too much of an artist to show off yourself, I don't know. There's a balance you have to do.
Yeah.
You want to show off your skills, but also
You just don't want to be pretentious about it. That's really it. As far as
that's good, and that's what's going to make people want to see your shows and come just have a good time.
Absolutely.
And I think that you guys produce that really good well your shows. And you've been playing some really, really cool original songs, which I love. And I've seen see more people show up at your shows, and I think that's really cool. And you guys have your instruments now. Do you want to play a couple originals? Maybe give it a shot?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
We can start with, you want to do jam song? Jam song? Yeah, so jam song, we'll give you a little background just for fun here. So jam song started because Connor wrote this really cool chord progression. This one kind of fell together really quickly. You know, it's a really simple 2 or 3 part structure, and it was just like, cool, everything felt smooth, you know. And lyrically, I kind of went off of like understanding self-worth over everything else kind of thing, where it's, if you can't love yourself, you can't love anybody else, that's for sure. So that's one of the lyrics in there. But yeah, I don't think I ever talked to you guys about the lyrics.
That's my first time hearing that.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear about the lyrics, and I love the song because I know that Connor, you wrote it, but like your interest in different music genres, it's like very technical. You love like all of these.
Yeah.
Like
Just adorable. That's the thing. Is
No, I love it,
Oh, a
man.
little bit.
Yeah.
We're in this band, you have to be a little bit more. That's like a qualification.
No, I think it's great because it incorporates like, you know, like a soft, smooth kind of song with lots of cool technical like timings and like key signatures and stuff. I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, I've noticed that like I've tried to like notate some of our songs just for the sake of like practice on some of that areas, but it's like, dang, we just do a lot of complicated stuff that it's just like so non-rudimentary. It's very interesting, but it's like.
I feel like our jobs are to blend it, you know, where it's like all of us are fully capable to write a 15-minute prog power jam if we really wanted to. I'm sure we could do it, but listener friendliness is probably a good idea for our brand right now, where it's like, okay, we want to get big enough to have credibility to be able to make stuff like this, you know.
It's very determined.
Well, once you got the fans locked in,
Exactly.
as weird as you want.
Exactly. That's the goal.
Build your
That's the
niche.
goal.
Yeah. Well, why don't you guys, you know, give it a little spin, and this is Jam Song by Interpretive Tyranny. Let's go for it.
Yeah, I'm curious if this would pick up both, but.